Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is U.S. wants to revoke temporary protected status of over 300,000 Venezuelans. Right, and pretty much this is just more of Jacob's trouble unfolding. It says U.S. to revoke temporary protected status of over 300,000 Venezuelans. Says the administration of the U.S. President Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to issue a ruling that would allow more than 300,000 Venezuelan citizens to be stripped of their temporary protected person status, right? And this, you already have the ICE agents, out there. It says, according to the newspaper, the U.S. Justice Department has asked the court to suspend a ruling that the Trump administration unlawfully deprived Venezuelan citizens of their legal grounds for staying in the U.S. after being forced to leave their country. TASS reported. It says, according to the U.S. General John Sewer, the May Supreme Court ruling, which resulted in 350,000 Venezuelans losing their special status, should also apply to the current case. All right, so it says Venezuelans were granted the status of temporary protected person in March 2021, and it's been extended multiple times since then. And this was during the Biden administration, right? It says March 9th, 2021, Venezuela was first designated for a TPS under the Biden administration due to extraordinary and temporary conditions. Yeah, so the devil, put the trip bag, on these Venezuelans. It says Revelation 13:11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And this goes into the two horns, the two different parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. But he spake as a dragon, and it goes into the draconian measures that he's issuing forth. And this is just another one right here with Trump trying to now take away and revoke this temporary protected status, and this causes so much problems. Now you got to get out of the land. You got to go back to where you came from. You got to find the funds to do it, and if you don't do it, ICE is rolling up on you, and ICE still gonna roll up on you. You know, because this is how they operate. Order out of chaos. You know, Isaiah 30 and 8 it says Isaiah 30 and 8. Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, which say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised, right, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Shai, right? It says, because ye despised this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and say thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly and in an instant. Use NLT, because now they got to hustle and bustle to to figure out what they're gonna do, or risk getting fined, jailed, and deported. Most likely thrown out in the back of a plane before they even make it to Venezuela. It says, calamity will come upon you suddenly, like a bulging wall that bursts and falls. In an instant, it will collapse and come crashing down, right? So that's what you get for trusting in the devil. As a matter of fact, I want to get it right here. Isaiah 31, it says, woe to rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, right, America, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So a lot of individuals came here to America trusting in Donald Trump, voting for Donald Trump, and now Donald Trump is kicking you out. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Right? So now you're confused as hell, because they're forcing you out after they allow you to come in. It makes no sense, but this is Babylon, right? So For Isaiah 30 and 14, it says, "And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred to take fire from the earth, or to take water without out of the pit." So completely, destroyed. You know, so this is going to cause, a lot of problems, right? And like I said, this goes into Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30 and 6, it says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. The last of that day is great, so that none is like it, is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." The he is talking about the elect, right? The ones that actually do listen and hearken to the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? So, hey, just blowing a trumpet on that is a interesting find, but it all makes sense, right? This devil has a plan, draconian measures, in different laws and decrees that he's pushing out, right, to choke the children of Israel, basically. Isaiah 10 and 1, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and the right grievousness, which they have prescribed, to turn it." So obviously, this was already prescribed. This was the plan all along, right? You have different agendas coming out: the 2030 agenda, the greater Israel agenda. All right, so nothing they're just doing where they just, oh, let's just do this now. It's all been prescribed and planned out. It says, "To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that wills may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless." Right, so that's exactly what this devil does, right? And we're still warning and telling you not to trust in this devil, you know. So, shalom to those select, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.